So due to some technical challenges, we have not recorded the wonderful comments that this group has made about their experience, but we wanted to share that experience with the group, with the rest of the community, because the effort of reaching out is both appreciated. Now I'm going to summarize just a little bit since we're running out of time. And what I heard you say was that in some cases you couldn't reach someone, and then in some cases you talked for an hour and a half. And that was just a kind of surprise. It was partly random, partly based on who you connected with or where they were that day. And so maybe others would like to, now that we are recording, repeat some of their what they shared about the experience.
I'll jump in and just say that I had to first overcome some social inertia and aversion to talking on the telephone. But once I did that, I had some very rich conversations with people, and they weren't always by phone. Sometimes they were by email or text. And in general, as others have experienced, there was this sort of mutual appreciation of the fact that we were connecting with one another. And it was a reminder to me how important this community is to me, and the relationships within this community, and the friends who we've known for years or short periods of time, who just are all part of this community. And I'm just so very grateful for these connections. And I think that the people I spoke with are grateful as well.
Hello, everyone in the Sangha.
I can say a few things. Again, the people I spoke with were very appreciative, and so I enjoyed talking to them. And a couple of them were people I hadn't talked to before, or one of them in particular, or somebody I talked to a few times at the center in a group of, when we were discussing books, a book club, a book group. So it was just a pleasant conversation about how things were and how things, what they were feeling, and this one person wanted to was looking forward to getting back into a restaurant. I myself am not looking forward to that for quite a while now. I think it's a little scary for our demographic. But what I realize is I enjoy talking to people more on the phone than I do Zooming. It was just the voice-to-voice thing was, I don't know, it sort of depersonalizes it and personalizes it in the same kind of way that I found more intimate almost. And also it spurred me on to call old friends, and I've got some old Sangha members that I've reached out to that are not part of the Shambhala Center that I've had some very nice long conversations with by phone. So it's, I'd encourage anybody who feels like picking up the phone to call somebody you know to do it. Don't wait.
I think we have a wonderful vehicle for community building, and I felt it in two ways. One, the group of us who are reaching out. I don't know what you'd call us, the volunteer crew, and then the people we're talking with. I've had lovely, lovely conversations with people, and they're extremely appreciative of the community connection. So I think we're redesigning or reinventing community, and it's wonderful to be part of that in two levels, on two dimensions. So I'm grateful to all of you, and I'm delighted that our community is alive and well and carrying on.
I'll speak.
Spread the love, share a verbal hug.
People that I spoke with, I also felt like it was an appreciated conversation, and even though two or three of them were only by either voicemail or email, but it was good to connect with those folks. Finding out that a couple of them were not in town; they were one was in San Francisco, and one was, I forget where the other person was. But again, I think that having been part of this the community, and then reconnecting as that that happened, was much appreciated.
I especially appreciated the opportunity to get my own act together to reach out to people. I think I benefited a great deal from the chance to not focus on my own inner musings and get my act together, pony up, put my britches on, and contact people. And I really appreciated the people who got back to me. And I appreciated the people that I got to email who I didn't know at all. Just putting myself and the Sangha out there. And I'm filled with gratitude.
Also, this is just a reminder that the Dekyongs have just been reinitiated or reinstated. And so if people want to reach out to their Dekyongs, Kristen, myself, and Anne, right?
Tina. I mean, Raina, is it?
Oh, Raina, I'm sorry. That we're available if they want to reach out at any time. So it can go two ways.
And hey, we have the happy hour on Thursdays. So that's a great place to sit on your front porch and, just talk about an amazing bunch of different things. And what were you going to say? You had something.
Well, I think the happy hour is really an unusually nice thing. We've just done it twice, but this time I liked it a lot. We sort of just talked about nothing much. And then David Cook, who was there, really talked to, I don't know if was he supposed to do this or it just came out, but the social meditation really lent itself to that, the spirit of it, to that kind of happy hour. And yeah, that's one of the first times since we had to move out of our center, and that I really felt for a few moments kind of connected, like that we're still here. And that's not to put this down or anything else, but that was in particularly relaxed and uplifting, I should say. Yeah, relaxed and uplifting.
Yeah, and before we started recording and during, I've heard the idea that we're reinventing society. And I think that that's what society is always doing, actually. Society is in a constant process of reinventing itself and kind of finding out, well, what works now? What do we need now? What's possible now? And so, it's kind of, impermanence has a sad aspect, but it also has this kind of, Bodhi Swaha, kind of like, here we are.
Yeah. Also, I think this add a little bit to what I learned from this. Actually, piggybacking on what you just said, John, it reminded me of what the Sakyong said about relationship or society is one-on-one. Is one person to one person, and you could say that that's what we've been doing here, is reconnecting to that notion of what's the beginning of a society is the one-on-one connection to each other.
Yeah,
That's the foundational piece, and who knows, maybe that's the more important part of our community right now, and the practice piece will go where it goes. But as if we all keep practicing, even if we practice on our own. So just well, as a reminder to the Sakyong there when you said that.
We could talk in this conversation about a lot of branches. Like one is that practice kind of kept creeping in on the happy hour. It was amazing to me, just kind of like, well, you know, we're talking sitting on your front porch, but here that topic comes back and it's very vivid. The other thing that I'd like to say that I want to squeeze in before we end is that there's both the one-to-one, like you're talking about, which is so fundamental, Doug, and there's the getting organized. You all have organized yourselves, and that is really, really important, you know, for a society.
Thanks, John.
So,
Shall we check on time here?
yes, I think everybody wave and we can.
Allison, are you leaving or just wanting to
I have
speak?
to go.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Okay, so you got your recording, John?
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Good.
Okay, thank